Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. Today we're going to be talking about the Fantastic Four issue 1 by Ryan North, Humberto Ramos, Victor Olazaba and Edgar Delgado. Ryan North reboots his brilliant Fantastic Four series just in time for the new movie in a couple of weeks, although really he doesn't actually reboot it since it's more or less a continuation of that other book, as we find the Fantastic Four battling Dr. Doom, who has taken over Earth and become its sole ruler as Emperor Doom. Interestingly, North frames this issue completely from Sue Storm's point of view, you know, the person who kind of holds the team together as the family. And she gives the readers a quick rundown of who they are, what her family are, and how she brought them there to stop Dr. Doom once and for all. Doom is angered that they dare attack their emperor, and I love how much Doom here is leaning into the title. He's on a big throne being carried by his Doombots through the street. It's all very theatrical and over the top, as Doom does a lot of the time. The Fantastic Four work to get through Doom's defenses, smashing the Emperor Doom down, but Victor refuses to be beaten, deciding that if the family insist on enabling each other's anti-Doom psychoses, he will end them for the first family. Doom blasts the heroes with his magical powers, blasting them all throughout time and causing them each to land in a different time period. Now this is a very Fantastic Four way to open a story. They're fighting Doom, they then get blasted through time and space, they're separated, they're spread across time. They got to use their powers and smarts to find each other and defeat Doom once and for all. It gets right into it, and it perfectly also removes it from the quote-unquote present storylines, giving Ryan North some much needed room to do some cool adventures with the family and free from the One World Under Doom story event that's going on at the moment. The team had their tie-ins to that event, and now Ryan North gets to come in just kind of do some really cool adventures with them. Johnny is spat out into the sky, finding himself in a volcanic ash-ridden Earth where he's barely able to flame on, only just able to do it and save himself from crashing into the ground. Suddenly his powers are cut off and he begins to suffer from hypoxia. His body is not getting enough oxygen and he is suffocating. The idea that Doom each sent them to a different time period where their powers will either hurt them or flat out won't work, or work as intended, is so Dr. Doom. He's trying to get them to learn some type of lesson, like his way is the only way, and I like that it puts North in a position to explore these heroes outside of their powers, something his previous series did so well. Johnny, slowly dying from the lack of oxygen in the atmosphere, taps his chest, activating the computer that Reed has put inside all of their costumes. The computer tells him that he is indeed on Earth, except 500 million years in the past. Suit also tells him the atmospheric oxygen is only 20% of the normal level, hence why he finds it hard to breathe and hard to flame on. Johnny tries to figure out how to make more oxygen, finding the advanced computer isn't helping much by telling him about photosynthesis and electrolysis, things that he doesn't particularly understand, but the computer does mention that he can make oxygen from melted oxidized metals. This is the science stuff I fucking love in a Fantastic Four book. It's science stuff that has a real life base, but sounds just wacky enough for it to be considered science fiction, and it leans heavily on that science fiction aspect here. Johnny flames on and again begins slagging the ground, melting the metal in it to create more oxygen, but despite everything he does, the oxygen level only raises to 31%, meaning it's not enough. Realizing he's probably going to die, Johnny gets to work on making something that Reed would be able to find, so he races towards the Forever Stone. So I believe this is a new concept for this book, and it's a really cool one. We get to explore it a little bit more in the book, but every time the team gets lost in time, they are to find the Forever Stone and write their name and date on it, and the last person, and this will give whoever tries to find them a chance to properly find them. It gives them like markers in time and space somehow. It's a neat idea, and we get a little bit more about it later on, which we'll get to because it's really cool in its explanation. Johnny carves the date and time on it, resting against the rock, as in another time, Ben smashes onto a beach where he's confronted by a dinosaur. As he fights the creature, another one arrives to try and pull the thing apart, but Ben doesn't think they understand that he's made of rock. However, he soon learns that doesn't really seem to matter, as the creatures are able to crack through his rocky skin and get into his flesh, causing him great pain. I like Ben's part of the book is more action orientated. He's fighting giant dinosaurs, making quips. It's always a good time when Ben Grimm is on the page. Eventually, the dinosaurs let go when he fights back, running off into the jungle. Ben uses the opportunity to escape himself, learning he's 92 million years in the past. Like with Johnny, he too heads in the direction mention of the Forever Stone. Finding Johnny's writing is on the stone, so he adds his own, staying close by the rock, although he doesn't notice the 5 dinosaurs quietly approaching him. I kind of love the implication of this, that the other 2 dinosaurs ran off to go and get their mates so they could jump the thing while he's doing something else. It's bitch behavior by these dinosaurs, I tell ya. As the thing deals with a gang of dinosaurs, Reed finds himself stuck in 1266 during the siege of a castle. He immediately tries to find the Forever Stone, but is smashed out of the air by a catapult boulder since he's not paying attention. I do kind of like this idea that because he's falling, he takes the shape of a giant kite. And I just love the idea of all these medieval soldiers kind of looking at the sky and seeing this kite-shaped man just drifting across the sky, and they get scared thinking it's some type of demon or new weapon. So they then fire a catapult at it, and Reed doesn't notice it's coming, and he ends up getting hit by it. It's kind of funny. North also uses Reed getting hit by a literal boulder to break his thinking for once, allowing him to remember where he is and how he needs to act in this time period. So Reed takes to the shadows and darkness of the nearby forest and escapes, making his way towards the Forever Stone, which he has worked out is at least 3 months of travel away. Seeing Reed get to live in this time period is a bit cool. I kind of wish we got a little bit more of it. I like that he's trying to be super careful. And I like that because of the nature of the world in 1266, like, people aren't as spread out as they are in the present day. So he's able to have giant swaths of area where he can just kind of turn into a sailboat and sail across the ocean, or roll around as a ball to travel. And then there's other times where, he's got to go through a city. So he, steals some coats and stuff and tries to act like one of the people of the city. It's a really interesting idea, and I kind of wish we got to see a little bit more of it. Eventually, he does get to the stone and digs it up, and we learn a little bit more about the stone and how it's tracked through history. Finding the inscriptions on it provides space-time coordinates that become known entities in time, meaning that if they are found by the right person in the right time, they can help them get home. To me, this is just usual comic booky techno jargon, but I love the idea that the team have this fail-safe in case they are tossed through time, and it's such a unique one. It's not like, they've hidden time travel devices all across time, or they have a device in their suit that will allow them to return to the present. It's literally like the most base object ever. It's a rock that has carvings on it. It's just such a base object compared to what usually the Fantastic Four uses, all these weird and wonderful gadgets. It's just so simple and so great. Looking at the inscriptions, Reed finds that Sue is the only one who hasn't signed it yet, meaning it's up to her to rescue them, as she is the final one left. Sue meanwhile finds herself falling through the sky when she suddenly bursts into flame. Sue turns her powers up and goes fully invisible, since while she usually bends light to become invisible, she needs to now shield herself with it from the heat the world is emanating right now, as just standing out in the open proves deadly. The invisible woman lands on the ground after making a parachute with her powers, and she finds the intense heat is because of the giant red dwarf sun looming over the planet. She taps her suit's computer and discovers that she is 7 billion years in the future, and she notes how the Earth's sun is dying, and in the process it's clearly boiled off the Earth's ocean and whatever was left on the planet, meaning she is the last life on Earth. Pressing her computer again, she begins the search for the Forever Stone. The suit picks up no signal of the stone, leading Sue to believe that with no stone left to get her back to her family, they will all die very soon, and then she too will be joining them. Fantastic Four issue 1 was a damn good time. We were just kind of dropped right into the middle of the chaos and action and hit the ground running. These are the type of Fantastic Four adventures I really like. Sprawling time travel jaunts that the team have to use their wits to figure out the problem and get out of it. North's decision to also divorce it from the One World Under Doom storyline, at least for this first arc, is a great idea too, since the book stops getting bogged down in all of the summer event storylines and what's going on in that. The team did have their tie-ins, now it's time to have some classic Fantastic Four adventures again, and just in time for the new movie. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.